Okay.
Let me get your recording up. Press the recording button over here. I'll get those mics up for you. And so when you're ready, change to the next slide. Just say next slide.
Okay.
I just got to record this. Come on. Joys of technology. I'm tired too. Just work. Okay.
Okay. Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank you, the audience, for showing up and believing in this field of study. Even though you may have been ridiculed by normal quote-unquote society, I would also like to thank Alyssa Adams for inviting us to this gathering. Also, I would like to thank my friend Johnny, my brother from another mother, for inviting me to this group, Stellar Paranormal. I have been studying other fields for the last 50 years of my life, and people I would speak with about these fields thought I was crazy. Well, over the last year, the government has come out and confirmed everything I spoke about. So who's crazy, me or them? Mike, with that, we'll start to a do. I guess hit first level. This one's you, honey.
This one here was taken over by my job where I work at. One of my friends called me up and asked me if I was seeing some strange things in the sky, so I ran over to the maintenance group and got a welder's green lens so I could actually look up towards the sun. The far one over there actually shows you what we actually see in the sky. This one over here is actually the picture of the sun, and you can see where that little UFO, if you want to think it's a UFO, it's there. And then there was a blow up of the one in the middle, was just the light that we had. So we don't only just check for like ghosts, we also check Bigfoot, UFOs, or anything in that field. Next one. Alright, this one here is actually in the cemetery over there in Missoula. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there is a girl's face up there in the tree. Me and my wife were actually over there putting flowers on my parents' grave, and she just happened to make the comment, if there's anybody who wants a photograph, step up. So we did. I actually just took pictures all the way around, and she actually showed up in the tree. Next one. Okay, next. All right. The first slide over there is what we caught here last year. Me and Mike actually were downstairs walking around doing our little tour, and all of a sudden this ghost just jumped up and started running. Well, we use a thermal cam, and the only thing I had time was just make one click. That's all.
I was like, what the bleep is that? I'll let you fill in the adjective there.
Yeah. So it was actually, nice to actually see it, because last year we actually walked the path that we seen the thing go to, because we thought, okay, let's first investigate, make sure it's not just somebody that we seen actually go by. It was actually a ghost.
There was no way there.
Yeah. So when we took the path, it was just a one way in and one way out. So there was no way for if there was a person to actually, come by. It's not, let's say, we're hiding.
They've kind of rearranged the basement down there, but there was a section down there last year where they had a bunch of chairs. They were stacked like in an L shape, and there was like a pocket. There's no way anybody could get back there. But we come around the corner, and the guy was like squatting like this. He's kind of like this. He was kind of like looking, and he popped up. He looked at us. He saw that we were looking at him with a thermal cam. He probably heard me say, "What the hell? What is that?" And he took off running. And he snapped a couple pictures, so that was really cool. I'll never forget that. It's burned in my brain.
The one over here, the far one, is actually taken over at the Clark Chateau in Butte. It's actually a thermal camera image of the bar where no one was at the whole day, but you can actually see where the thermal cam actually picked up heat signature at the bar. All right, next one.
That's it, because you have to show his pictures.
No, there is some of these videos here. They were just made real quick to just show the best thing that we found at each one of these locations. All right, go ahead and play the first one.
Okay, good.
Nope. Yep. Bannock.
Hold on. There must be.
All right.
Nice editing, by the way. Yeah, that door opened by itself. Boo! I just happened to be looking the right way. That door just opened by itself.
Inside the church, we actually were sitting in the back, and the tour guide that was actually there was talking, and he was mentioning that they used to hang like Native Americans and stuff like that. Well, off to the side of the doorway, the thermal cam actually shows where there was like an entity in the background that was just flipping out when this guy was talking
We
about.
didn't actually get it on film or tape, but we were looking at it through the thermal cam, and it was like a red blob. It looked angry and was kind of like undulating. I don't know, it was really weird because it popped up right after that gentleman started speaking about the Native Americans.
Yeah. But as soon as he got done, it kind of like calmed down. And then shortly after that, when those guys left, that's when we caught the door. But the strange thing is, if you ever been,
I think you just lost your mic.
if you ever been to Bannock and you've seen the door, you literally have to turn the handle in order for the door to actually open. The other thing is, when you're standing up there, you can actually see if someone's walking up, because there's a big gap at the bottom. You can see if someone's coming up, actually opening the door. This one here, there was nobody there. The door opened and then it closed.
Yeah, it's like we were in the church, me and him separately, alone, and I seen his wife through the crack of the door come up through the door, so I didn't see anybody with the door open.
Yeah. And then the medium that we had that day that was with us, prior to us going in, she said that there was a spirit that was inside of the church that was really angry about what the guy was talking about through all these tours. And she actually had to get up and leave because it was too violent
Maybe
for
you're
her.
physically already sick. Yeah.
All right, next one. Okay, this one here is actually Jessica from Bozeman Paranormal. She was actually sitting around the table. And you can actually see where this one here, the lace, sitting at the same table down at the very end. You can see where the hot spot was, where there should not have been any hot spots at all. This one here is just a recording of what my thermal cam was picking up. It was right in the middle of the dance floor where no one should have been. There was no cold spots around. One other thing that we do is after we catch something like this, we actually go around and check to make sure that we can, if we can debunk it, we don't show it. If we can't debunk it, then we'll show it. All right, next one. If you've died in here, you don't have to stay. You can go.
Nobody touched that. Okay, we got some action here. We were in solitary confinement.
Yeah,
What did it do on the meter?
it spiked.
Do that again.
On this one right here, like Mike said, we were in, in confinement down below.
That place is spooky, man. The echo in there will drive you nuts if you've been in there for a long time, man.
One of the apps that we use is called Redbox, and it actually tells you sounds that you normally can't hear. The whole time that we were in there, it was giving us like music, chant, So we were sitting there talking, and right before we got this one here, Mike actually mentioned that he wanted to bring it in a harmonica because he wanted to play it. And all of our instruments were spiking, where it should not have spiked.
I told him, fine, okay, you guys, I'll bring my harmonica and I'll play something for you. And all the meters just went crazy.
But it was actually pretty good. We also seen that day, if you guys been in there, they have there's spots where it's locked down, so you can't actually get in there to see it. So we took like our thermal cam and ran through to see if we could see anything. There was also like the second floor, they had us locked off so we couldn't go up there. But you could actually see on the thermal cam where there was like figures where people were standing, like in the doorway.
And there was nobody there.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Is anybody in here? Hear that knocking? We didn't hear that until after, when we looked at the tape.
Enhanced audio.
On that one there, we actually down in the basement, was at the general's house.
I think that was the third story in the Brigadier General's room. Yeah.
But we actually were done with other investigators, and everybody else had their cameras running and stuff. But,
Yeah, Bozeman was there with us that day.
and we couldn't, no one, really felt anything, but after stopping and listening to the audio, we actually found a few things on there.
Now, did you bring the blob that was like undulating above her head?
No,
Oh, darn.
I don't think I put that.
Oh, well. Yeah, that was in that room. I've got it on my body cam. He's got footage, but what was her name?
Jessica.
Jessica and her friend came around the corner, and he was holding dowsing rods, and she was just standing there. And I was looking at the thermal camera that he was looking through, and I had the body camera pointed at it, so it's basically proof that we're not faking this stuff. But anyway, she came around the corner, and I'm like, there is a blob that's undulating above your head, like about 2 feet above you and 2 feet behind you. It was just like, it was very strange.
Last one.
We probably want to see.
Okay, this one here is actually at the dance hall there at Fort Missoula. You can see where Bozeman Paranormal put up REM pods and stuff out on the floor. And then down at the bottom, you can see where there's a little slight light down at the bottom.
Yeah, we were up on the second floor, looking over the railing in the dark.
But it was just weird because the light was just really faint and you couldn't hardly really see it, but it was over the dance floor and about 10 feet off the ground.
Now, did you bring the 2 pictures that you snapped of the lady with the dress?
I probably have it on my laptop.
Okay, I got that on my phone. Basically, I'll just pass that around right now and let everybody look at it. this was really cool.
Yeah, this year actually has been very good for us. We've been hanging out with Bozeman Paranormal and catching some really good footage. You know, some
Just hit play and pass it on. It's basically 2 pictures that I've taken, and it's like kind of crappy recording on the computer. I was just pointing my camera at the screen and flipping it back and forth between the 2 pictures, and kind of imagine how this thing is coalescing and coming into being. It's really cool.
She's already seen it. Oh, I got her. Yeah, that's great.
That was really interesting. It's like there's like kind of like a blob, and you can kind of like see a dress. And then the next picture, you see her face, her chin, her shoulders. You can see the rib cage. You can see the hip bones. You can see the dress better. It was really interesting. Yeah. Basically, was it the sound meter or your EMP meter that spiked?
That was EMP.
Yeah, the EMP. He just randomly just snapped 2 pictures in the dark.
Amazing.
It's pretty cool, huh?
But we also use other equipment that most people don't use. We actually use like radiation detector, you know, just to make sure that, you know, if the radiation is up high enough, you know, it will play with your mind. We want to make sure that was out of the question.
When we were in the prison, in the cell there, what did the radiation spike to when the cat ball went off when you were talking?
Well, that actually spiked to like a 26 to 32.
And what's normal?
Normal is around like 5 or 6.
Yeah, background radiation is about 5 or 6, so it really spiked.
Other things that we use is a sound meter, because anybody who actually knows like non-lethal weapons, the sounds you actually get above 95 decibels, and it stays within, you know, 5 to 20 hertz. You can't hear it, your dog can, but you know, it will play tricks on you. So when we go to places and we look at, is it haunted or not, that's one of the things that we look at. Just make sure that it's not a sound that's actually going off that's making you feel that way.
Yeah. I guess next slide, we'll be passing that around.
I think the rest of them are similar.
Yeah.
They're the same as what we had before.
So we got more coming up or what?
I think, yeah, I guess you can.
UFO, that spot.
There we go.
Yeah.
Everybody want?
Number 1?
No, those are the same ones that we
Okay.
did before. Go in the tree. This here is just another shot. Let's see. Okay, go one more.
One more to the right. Yeah, I was showing somebody, the guy buy chicken from in Albertsons every day. I showed him this picture and I explained what happened, and we scared the guy and he got up and ran away, and Johnny clicked those 2 pictures. He's like, is that guy giving you the universal symbol? And I was like, I looked at it, I was like, I think he is. He was not happy with us, because when we were presenting, we had one of our groups, she can like hear them and see them. And she was like, he's not very happy right now. He wants you to take that down. I was like, well, sorry.
Was that taken in Phillipsburg?
That was downstairs.
That guy was very upset.
That was the guy that was squatting. It's burned in my brain. I can still see him jumping up, looking at us, and going, oh, and then ducking down and running through the wall, running through the debris and then running through the wall.
He was not very happy with
No, he wasn't.
I remember that day very well because I think it was you, right? Like, after you looked at that photo, you came running over to this booth. And you're like, oh, you gotta take a look at it, we gotta get this on the thing for tomorrow.
Yep, it was really cool.
That was a good night.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the best evidence of, I think, has been caught.
That was my first day.
Yeah, and that's just great. Because usually when we're in here, the guy will just tell us no a lot, and he doesn't really like to have a conversation a bunch of times. So
I think he thought he was being sneaky, hiding back in that hole. He was like watching people walk back and forth.
yeah,
But he didn't expect somebody to poke the camera in his face that could see him.
yeah, but he definitely was surprised.
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't know if he told you last year, me and my sister were putting it together. Was it during the time when the lights were on the first time before or was this in the dark completely?
I think it was in the dark.
This one here was actually in the dark.
Okay, it's around that area that night. That was the only time that our grandpa that we went out the whole night. We went crazy. So we were like, well, maybe that was the time when it took off and never mind.
I don't know if Johnny brought the pictures, but last year we caught something down. You were speaking of objects that were haunted last year. Well, last year we went down to the basement, the very far wall. There was an old Dr. Pepper machine. It's a Dr. Pepper. I don't know if you guys remember what they used to look like. You know, you'd lift the lid, you put your change in there, you'd lift the lid, you reach in, grab the glass bottle, and then you'd pop the top on the side. Well, we come up on this machine, and I can't explain it. There was two spots about that big, about from here to here, and the unit is probably about that wide, but it was like lit up, like it was heated, because thermal camera, you pick up thermal. I walked over and touched the damn thing, and it was stone cold. So I can't explain it, but we sat there and watched it for about maybe 4 minutes, and they just kind of faded away. Then we went and saw that guy, and then we came back down to check it again, and there was 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. We sat there and watched, and they faded away. I have no clue if that box was haunted. Who knows? But it was interesting.
Because the only haunted object that I've been around usually the most is Sissy.
Yeah.
And I've never had her feel like she's warmer temperature, but that's a good theory. I bet you that the haunted objects do put off temperature that are.
That's the whole point, though. That thing should have been dark blue. The whole unit should have been dark blue. There was 2 spots that were just temperature, thermal. So I don't know. It was interesting.
Does anybody have any questions for that?
You guys got any?
Are we out of slides? Or?
Yep.
Okay, I thought you brought more than that, but I guess I'll have to go to our website when we get it up and check it out, because we're going to have a lot more than that.
So, what is your most favorite, out of all the events you've ever done, what is the most favorite event you went to?
I'll let Johnny go first. He's been doing this for a while, so.
I think the Clark Chateau was actually the best one. Like I said, hanging out with the Postman Paranormal, we actually go to a lot more places. But at the Clark Chateau, on the website, you'll hear a little girl. She actually giggles. But the cold spot that I got was right in the middle of the dance floor, about 3 feet up, and it just sat there. And then we had some people walk in, and then they walked back out, but I still stayed there and tried to investigate, okay, was it a cold spot or not? But when I got home, you could actually hear a little girl giggle during that time. So that would be, I say, would be my best.
Well, I know that the ballroom is commonly haunted by the butler. Also, back during William Andrews Park's day and during what he was the music community, most children's education for learning would have been held up in the ballroom. So.
I would have to say that probably Phillipsburg was my favorite, because that was the first day that I'd done it, and I got a lot of stuff. We didn't bring it, but it's probably going to be on the website soon. I've got probably about 3 or 4 film footage of orbs flying around all over here. I mean, not just one, but stuff coming up to the camera going, whoom. It's not dust. So it's mind-blowing. And then my other favorite will probably be Fort Missoula. That place is really active.
Yeah.
I mean, Jessica, she had this entity following her around. We got pictures of that too, just in different spectrums too. But at one point we asked the entity, "Are you following her?" It was like, "No." "Are you curious about her?" "Yes." "Have you ever seen hair like that before?" "No." She had purple hair. Okay.
Yeah.
And in one of the photographs that we took in plain color, you can plainly see there's this thing floating above her. And guess what color it is? Purple. Pretty bizarre. That, and when she came into the room, that thing was just undulating, and the fact that she was not scared about that, but I guess she went to the bathroom in the administration hall, and the light switch started going on and off. That freaked her out, which I fathom that. I think, me myself, I would be worried more about something above my head following me than someone pranking me. I don't know, that's just me, but.
I mean, I would just say, okay, I'm using the bathroom, hold on.
That was pretty
yes.
interesting. And I would have to say probably another one of my favorites was Bannock, when we seen that in the church when the guy was talking about what they were doing to the Native Americans in that red block. It looked just angry, was not happy at all. But I think that's, out of all the places we've been so far, that's been my favorite three.
Yeah. Well, when we get it up and running, it's just going to be Stellar Paranormal. We're going to hit YouTube, Facebook, and then we'll just have a regular website.
Yeah, he's in the process right now. He's already created an LLC corporation, and he's kind of going through the steps with another friend to try to get the website set up. But we're going to have some pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, and we always have more investigations that you guys can join on and stuff. Thinking of Sport Missoula, I'm about to go present to them, and with the list of EVP sessions that how many answers we got on one video. We even had a person speaking Japanese.
Yeah, I remember that.
Completely Japanese, and you could not understand where this is coming from. And then I was walking into, it looks like I was in the main room, and then I was walking in there, and then you see a shadow figure just start to follow me. So I was like, that's not my shadow. Because then you see it shortly after that my shadow pans around the corner. And I'm like, that was really weird. And then we caught, and I left a video camera on the top, in that little area where there's that fence, not fence, but the balcony area.
On the other
and
side
you can hear whispering, there's something. Nobody was up there the whole night, and we just completely caught whispering the whole night, that whole time. It was just a very fascinating area that I'm very excited to go back to. So
it was interesting because after you left the room, you were off doing other things. We were, I think Jessica was there, and what was the gentleman's name that was there? James. Yeah, James was there, and Apollo was there, and they were playing with the spirit board and doing whatever. And me and Johnny, we came in, we just sat down on the couch, we were just sitting there observing and listening, and all of a sudden somebody asked a question. We didn't get this on tape, but it was like, Johnny was sitting over there, and I heard a guy say, yes. I looked over at Johnny. Johnny got up, he didn't run out of the room, but he thought someone said something out the hallway, or what did you hear after yes?
Well, after I heard the yes, I heard somebody say, hey, come here. So I figured, okay, maybe, Bozeman Paranormal got something, and they were asking everybody, hey, come here, I want to show you guys. So I got up, kind of went down the hallway, but there was nobody there.
Yeah, and I got up because I heard it too. I was like, I heard a voice just right to the right side of him. I got up, walked around the couch, walked around the other part of the room just to make sure nothing or nobody was there. And then I walked out into the hallway and I directly looked at him. I'm like, did you hear what I just heard?
Yes. That was actually pretty good.
It was odd.
Yeah, that place was really, really active.
Yes, I would say, those two buildings, the administration building and the Brigadier General's house, yes, very haunted.
Where is a place that you guys want to go? What's your place that you would really want to go?
Twin Bridges.
Somebody recently, I'm a custodian at some of the schools in Missoula, and one of the librarians was telling me there's a place in Anaconda. I need to do a little bit more research, but it's called Gunslater Gulch Ranch. Have you heard of that?
Yeah,
I've watched some of the videos, and that place is haunted. I mean, we're talking about chairs, boom, falling over on their own, that kind of stuff. So I'm interested in that place. That's on my list.
I think that's on most people's list.
Any other questions?
Any questions or?
All right. What is your favorite piece of equipment to work with in an investigation? And it doesn't have to be something that you own. It's just something you might got to try or anything. What is your favorite piece of equipment?
I like the thermal cams. I don't know about Johnny, but I like the thermal cams. And that new little box that she got, the one that you had at the Ghost or Bannock, I think it was Banning.
Oh,
You were
my
holding up and it was
SLS
showing,
camera that's sitting
yeah, it was showing like stick figures
Yeah,
and doing
that
weird things. She was
SL
looking up at the ceiling and was like the guy hanging from the ceiling. I was like, whoa, that's weird.
Yeah, that's over there.
What's that called?
It's called an SLS camera.
An SOS camera?
SLS camera.
SLM camera?
S.
X.
Yes.
S. My hearing is atrocious, I'm sorry.
Yes. So I was having it charged over there so then when people can go and play with the equipment later. So yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
It's really nifty.
James hasn't even got to touch it yet.
Yeah,
So
I tried to
I know.
I all the manuals, it's great.
Looks like a fun toy to play with.
Yes. So any other questions for them? Do you think of any, James?
Huh?
What questions should we ask him?
Sally, ask your question quick.
Okay, why are we here?
That's a big question everyone's been asking for a long time, so I have no answer.
I believe the answer to that is 42, but it gets deeper after that.
Yes.
I thought it was to learn as much as you could every day as long as you're here. I don't know.
Where's a good spot? Because I know you guys are very into like kind of the UFO stuff. And I guess, have you done any more research in that sense too? Where is a good spot for looking for that stuff? Remember, my group does that too. If it's not cloudy outside and
Well, actually, we met up with a group doing, was it the CE5 group? Actually sits down and do meditation, and then they think about what they want to see, and they say that they're supposed to get some pretty good, some stuff off of it. They're located outside of Spokane. This summer, I actually have a chance to go see what they do. So hopefully this upcoming summer, they'll come here and we'll see if it actually works.
yeah, definitely. Because I know that your team leader really is big into that. I met her sister yesterday. So and
Are you talking about Polly? Oh, okay.
So and then
She's our sensitive member of the group. She
Yes.
she can hear and see things.
yeah, and that's kind of like the base of your guys' group. I know that. So, but yeah, that's very fascinating. Our group just goes and looks for UFOs outside, mostly in the dark, in weird parts of the outskirts of Bozeman most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when it's not cloudy, because who wants to get rained on?
Yeah.
But yeah, so. But yeah, if there's any other questions or comments, you're welcome to ask right now.